everybody. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. We are here and I'm not Discurious, and we're here and we're back for some more Punishing Gray Raven. But yeah, how's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well, because I certainly am on this fine day. But yeah, we're here for some more PGR. Yay! But yeah, how's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. But yeah, let's go. Let's dive in. Yep. Alrighty. Sorry, Vera. Gonna have to skip your dialogue. Alright, blue thingies. Alright, cool, whatever. Don't care about that. Alright, I think with that said, let us officially keep on going with the chapter. Which is Deceiver's Rapture. Once again, let us continue with Deceiver's Rapture. But yeah, I'm super excited to continue, man. Yeah, so yeah, let's go! But yeah, can't wait to continue it. But yeah, let me just give me a second to get ready. Just set myself up a little bit here. Alright, there we go. There we go. Alright then, I think without further lollygagging, let's do the story then. So yeah, let's go. Market Garden. Alright, let's go. Bridge deck. The Vanguard unit now works outside the military command. Direct command. Carrying out reconnaissance over Los Parados. Centered on the city, our most recent missions confirm the spread of punishing contamination across the surrounding desert. The holographic map glosses over the city's ruins, but that glaring crimson hue refuses to go unnoticed. The skirmishes on the front lines continue, but that isn't our concern. Our priority is to enhance the prototype construct's internal shielding. We're deploying them into a high-intensity combat zone to run live tests and gather critical data. Old Los Parados is overrun by corrupted from day one. And devoid of human survivors. Serves as the ultimate proving ground. Oh, that is very suspicious. The image freezes on a magnified view of the inner city ruins. Well, I mean, that's suspicious, huh? Is this a homecoming of sorts, returning to a place once known? She regards the city's spectral outline with a keen fascination. Wagering your life against the unseen punishing virus has got to be a bigger thrill than a simple card game, don't you think? Mozano seizes the moment, igniting the passion of everyone gathered around her. When did you ever get this generous with me, Aunt? You've practically handed me the perfect chance to get ahead. Be sure you don't get so caught up in the fun that you lose sight of the mission. It still needs to be finished, so collect all the data you can. Time to put this painstakingly crafted frame through its paces. Let's find out how far it can really go. The madam moves closer, her voice hushed to a whisper as she addresses Lilith. Please, don't worry. I'm every bit as intrigued by this question as you are. She appears completely unfazed by Mozano's looming presence, going so far as to offer her a confident smile in return. Alright, could you look after the gray Mako fire team as well? Mazzano shifts her gaze to the construct station in the far corner of the deck. Their leader snaps to attention and salutes without hesitation. Gray Mako, third 3 on the roster, but only two have made it. Mako 1, reporting in to Sergeant Eleanor. Hey, that's a pretty formal title, huh? I'm still getting used to all these military courtesies. Alright, where's her last teammate? Give me a status update. Her shock flickers away in an instant, and she quickly straightens into a posture of commander. This is also a part of your mission, recovering the missing teammate. On a previous mission, Mako 3 never managed to board the evacuation transport. From the faint signals we picked up, he's still out there somewhere in the city. Without a trace of feeling, the conscious soldier recounts what might have befallen their ally. For them, this mission might as well be a homecoming. With that, the Madam hands Lilith the final intel she needs. All the prototype construct candidates were volunteers, former residents of Los Perdos, each one stepping forward of their own free will. What about Kephart? I don't see that so-called honorary citizen volunteering to lead Earth's counterstrike. All that pompous talk is begging for a sarcastic retort. Damn. He's a key figure in the council. Choose your words carefully and show some respect. I get it. Everyone fights their own battles in the end. Every time she talks to the madam, she subs right back into that poised, commanding grace. Damn. The contract leader stands there in an unsettling hush, his helmet bristling with sensors, hiding his features from view. This concludes our pre-battle briefing. Good luck, let's move out. A silent sliding door at the rear of the deck opens, revealing the elevator that leads directly to the hangar. Still, whatever the rules of engagement may be, I'm prepared to face them. She offers a bow, just as she always does. Oh, alright. Get down, behind you! The downpour's interference throws off our sensors, leaving the leader fully engaged in combat, oblivious to the danger closing in behind him. Ugh. He tries to swing his gun around, but the corrupted surge too close for him to react. An umbrella! A swirling mass of purple and black flares up in the tight space between them. Scree! Is that really all you've got? Oh, nice portrait art. Oh, I like that portrait art. Okay. In a sudden flare, the moon umbrella snaps open, intercepting a deadly strike aimed straight at the leader. Get down! The leader hurls himself flat against the ground in a split second. Pedals and rims clamp shut in unison, forcing a surge of compressed air to blast out through tiny vents of the umbrella's tip. The corrupted staggers, but quickly finds his balance, launching yet another fierce assault on Lilith. Alright. That unsettling crimson light only flickers for a moment before going dark. The umbrella's tip strikes near the sensor with surgical precision, carving out tiny shards of glass. What's it like being taken down by your own carelessness? She lowers her moon umbrella, gazing at the corrupted lifeless husk on the ground, a smug smile tugging at her lips. Thank you. The leader, just barely clinging to life a moment ago, struggles for breath. Hey, alright. But if it happens again, don't expect me to be so merciful, understand? Left side, last target. At last, the team leader's instincts kick in, razor sharp. Automatic fire-ups and Estachio bursts, dark copper casings spin through the rain, covering a brilliant arc in the gloom. Alright. Fatal error, self. Nickel-plated semi-armor piercing high-explosive rounds shred the mechanical ghoul's spine. Its twisted metal frame slams into the mud with a resounding crash, so heavy it briefly eclipses even the deafening roar of the downpour. All hostiles have been taken down. Hold your position and remain on high alert. That's more like it. This is my dear aunt's precious masterpiece. If a pack of deranged robots wreck it, there's no way I can explain myself when I get back. The fire team ignores the sarcastic remark, pouring all their focus into the screens of their handheld terminals. It's Mako 3's identification beacon. We're getting close. Factoring out terrain interference and punishing virus distortion, they can pinpoint the signal source in the abandoned mall at their 9 o'clock. He looks uneasy, as though something is off. His reaction makes perfect sense. It's one thing to have a theory, but the battlefield itself is always far harsher. Although the built-in shielding system doesn't rely on human mind beacons to stabilize mind, like the Inver device, it still doesn't perform much better in high-intensity conditions. One system filters a punish virus that slips into the frame. The other forms a protective bubble the virus can't penetrate. Neither can truly absorb it, a technological marvel yet to be achieved. Still, putting themselves at risk is precisely what missions like this are about. Keep your combat data recorder running at all times. Any data gathered under these circumstances is priceless. Keep moving on. She delivers her command with an icy finality. Damn. As they reach the area near the beacon, they find the rain has ceased. Lilith enters the cavernous small atrium, tilts her gaze skyward, and draws in a deep, measured breath. Yeah. She absently runs her tongue all over her lips. She relies on her hypersensitive taste sensors far more than her sense of smell. The post-rain air is anything but clean, as the tang of iron and the stench of rot sweep in all at once. Damn. When it's not those trinkets that get her heart racing, she can practically taste the thickening aura of the punishing virus. I'm not here to babysit you, just be smart. She seems to have forgotten her role as a mere stand-in sergeant, stepping briskly into the mall's depths without hesitation. Damn. With no alternative, the constructs press onward. Mako 2, proceed to the escalator. Beneath a dome that has long since crumbled, the only sound is the echo of construct boots splashing through puddles. Alright. In position, checking structural integrity. The two carefully examine the corroded metal framework, only to realize the female construct, brandishing umbrella as a blade, has already made it to the second floor corridor. Damn. This instills them with the confidence they need. Take turns covering each other and move out under Sergeant Eleanor's lead. Understood. Heading to the second floor now. Alright. Damn. She sure is confident. Lilith sure is confident. Confident, man. They place their feet on the last step with utmost caution. Then everything suddenly changes. No, that's not right. I'm not. Data corrupted. Attempted to reload. The virus has breached the limit. Fall back. Beginning memory upload. Upload in progress. A corrupted construct staggers in, clinging to a hazy shred of memory as an eerie, synthesized groan resonates from its throat. Identify yourself. No, please, I'm begging you. No, just wait, I'm begging you. Don't shoot. No, don't shoot. The wailing construct is completely unarmed and displays no hostile intent whatsoever. Stop right there. No, please, I'm begging you. Don't. No. He keeps staggering forward. He steps twisted and wrong. The squad leader shares a quick, tense glance with the others. Squad number 2 nods in confirmation, then pulls the trigger. A single semi-armor piercing high explosive round pierces straight through the corrupted construct's forehead, putting an end to its agony. Oh shit. Damn. I am Lloyd. Oh, Lloyd? Oh, shit. Oh, Lloyd showed up again, huh? Oh, shit. The corrupted construct raps out its dying words, then crumples like a puppet with its strings cut. It's probably a straggler from another fire team, but there's no way to scan his ID beacon. Neither of them says a word. An indescribable horror has them rooted to the spot. In the end, the contract speaks the name of its missing comrade. Within the mall's deserted corridors, there's no sign of Sergeant Eleanor. Keep moving forward toward the signal. Damn. Alright. Rounding the corner of a nearby shop, they come upon a far more horrifying sight. All trace of standard issue gear on the third member is gone, eaten away until nothing remains but bone. A tall, silver-haired woman stands there, her razor-sharp heel spearing the exposed skeleton to a jagged piece of rebar jutting from the floor. Oh, damn. Oh, shit. Sergeant Eleanor? What are you doing? At this sound, Lilith spins around, her eerie smile sending shivers deep through their minds. Don't you see? This place now has the highest level of punishing contamination. With fully automated customer guides and sales robots every turn, shopping malls have become even more perfect hotbeds for its spread than entertainment venues. Connection establishing error. The battle remains underfoot, still manage a feeble moan. Sergeant Eleanor's orders are to retrieve Mako 3. When he's done speaking, he presses the release catch on the gun's side. Slides in a fresh magazine, then yanks back the bolt to ready his weapon. That's our teammate. Undeterred by the strained jamming system, the two edge closer to Lilith. After all, they still have a mission to finish. Oh, you still don't get it, do you? Moments ago, you used your own hands to kill your comrade, the third member of Grey Mako. Or to be precise, you erased his backup memory. And what I'm standing on is him too. Oh shit. I don't aunt ever expected her plan to work this quickly. Ha. Oh shit. Impossible. Recall is never. In unison, they drop their weapons, each one echoing the other cries of astonishment. Naturally, they recall the vow Madame Mozano gave on the day their bodies were first altered. A memory can be moved at will, and bodies, if you want to make more, there's no limit to how many you can churn out. The moment the jammer goes down, their memories are sent straight to this central hub, ready to be installed in fresh frames. This is the method Madame Mozano has set her heart on, a way to create the perfect soldier that stands apart from both the military and Corono. They've never put much stock in that kind of thought. They never put much stock in that kind of talk, yet here they are, staring at a living, breathing example. Too bad, isn't it? We're still nowhere near a real breakthrough. You saw yourselves, right? His memory hasn't returned to Babylonia. It's just jumped through a hardware interface into another construct body that is already shut down, and only part of his data made the trip. Well, these petty details are so dull. Thinking living a long time automatically makes you strong by that logic. Horseshoe crabs, which have been around for 200 million years before the virus ever hit, will be Earth's true overlords, don't you think? The female contract remains lost in her whispered delirium, as though drifting into a faint dreamlike haze. Oh shit. Sergeant Eleanor, remove the restraints. We need to reclaim Mako 3's remains. You can't make sense of what's unfolding, but that voice is begging all the same. What are you calling for me? Oh, don't be so impatient. Are you calling for me? Don't be so impatient. You've already completed your mission objective. We're deploying them to the high-intensity combat zone to run live tests and gather critical data. In the blink of an eye, the construct soldier's built-in alarm blares to life. Warning, internal shielding is at critical threshold of filtration cycle. Evacuate immediately. Warning, internal... Sergeant Eleanor, we have to move now. Ugh. The soldier beside the leader suddenly in flash unleashes a shrill, agonized scream. Oh shit. The unprocessed punishing virus surges from the display's apparatus, flooding fragments of sanity the two can cling to. A torrent of data, impossible for their minds to grasp quickly, engulfs their mind. Back up, mind. The leader's memory shell doesn't finish processing that final thought before it collapses with a thud. His teammate fights on, desperate and trembling. No, stay out of my head. Ah! Oh, it hurts so much. The poison deficiency from moments ago vanishes, leaving the construct huddled on the filthy floor. I don't understand. It turns as though he's speaking to someone who isn't there, but his disjointed whispers soon fade away. Suddenly, his sensor flares red. The construct snaps upright, stiff as a puppet on display. Scree, you worthless junk. We've only just plugged you in and you're already you. Pathetic shit who never learned to value their chance. She furrows her brow on instinct. Her tone laced with regret and scorn. Her brow on instinct. Die. Damn, that's cold. Damn, that's cold. With barely a thought, she flicks out two card-shaped high-carbon steel throwing knives. One cuts through the corrupted construct's processor. The other seals the former leader's fate, ending him where he lies. Alright, let's find out exactly how far your blind luck has carried you. She drops her eyes to the broken remains beneath her, then taps into the target's mind. In the ravaged mall, jagged walls and rubble seem to stretch endlessly toward downward. Lilith plunges into a realm where reality itself bends beyond comprehension. Shapes she can still make out melts away one after another. She practically senses the punishing virus ripping through every nerve in her mind. That's it. Keep going. Don't stop now. She beckons the virus closer, inviting it in. Damn. Just as she anticipates, a dark red mesh surges forward, carving the machine's agony into hundreds of uniform squares. Oh, Vonnegut! At the boundary of her sight, a crimson tide gathers and solidifies, ultimately coalescing into a figure she recognizes. We meet again. I have to admit, you really outdid yourself this time. Very few have the power to tap into the Ascension Network all by themselves. Are you hoping I fail? I'll fail, sir? Fueled by her exhilaration, she boldly flaunts her triumph. My power comes from the network, whose chosen lies beyond my control. Alright. Damn, alright. The Ascension network is in some array of sharpened blades. It's a finely woven sieve. Of course, it never shows mercy to those who are too fragile. He states the rules with measured calm. So those few just now, they all gave up halfway? That's correct. For someone like you, capable of lasting such a high-intensity environment, the Ascension Network offers an invitation, but whether you can claim its blessings depends on your conviction and strength. Turns out this is the accidental breakthrough achieved using fragmented data from Project Winter. In her eyes, evolution is all about harnessing an internal shield and transferring one's memory, fully warding off the punishing virus. A flawed start and a misguided path can still somehow knock upon the right door. She gives a soft laugh at the sheer absurdity of it all. Take another moment to reflect. You've arrived too soon, and you haven't truly stepped beyond that threshold. Damn. His expression never wavers as he pronounces his judgment. Not satisfied with her last match in the Ascension Network? Don't worry, I'm fully prepared to entertain your new rules. A subtle hint of annoyance settles on her brow. Take it easy. Perhaps Rosano's been piling on too many missions. It's easy for people to slip into new ways of thinking without even noticing. For now, I'll trust that you're not the sort who prizes raw power over true insight. Force is merely the baseline that ensures a fair fight. I know this all too well. Sir, perhaps you should speak more plainly. You haven't spent nearly enough time under the Ascension Network's influence, and this is just the beginning. Completely opening oneself to this pain is the only path leading to the filtering. You are the one who once set your sights on the throne, and now the plague's very origin lies in your grasp. Think it over. The key to that door. I've already handed it to you. Use it wisely. Damn. That silhouette dissolves, drifts away, and finally disappears into the depths of the twisting space. The wave of euphoria gradually settles, and the thrill drains away. The pain once fractured into cubes melts away, and her body feels as though it's reclaiming its true form in the real world. Alright. A cold shot mall corridor comes back into focus in her visual feed. Owned by myself completely? She lingers on that thought for a moment, then rises onto her toes. Damn. Echo 419 to Grey Mako, requesting your pickup coordinates, over. A transmission crackles through the comms. Grey Mako here, Sergeant Eleanor reporting. Mission clock reads 0:30:56, coordinates N39. All of the Grey Mako personnel are KAA. We'll reach the operation. Cover the operation data. Over. Copy that. Moving to the rendezvous point for pickup. Echo 419 out. Lilith steps over to the two fallen constructs, calmly extracting the data chips embedded above their spines. Damn. She casts a sly glance at the third husk, impaled by a steel rod, then turns and makes her way toward the ladder. Petri dishes, test samples, microbial creature cultures, each one is absolutely vital. And she's already has everything she needs to set the filter in motion. My dearest aunt, this time I'm making the first move. Driven by a craving to warp every norm, the player is about to leap headlong into the decadent cage they've built for themselves. Damn, alright. Jeez, alright. Damn. Interesting. So this is how she descended into madness, huh? Alright. This is how she became a part of the Ascension Network. Alright, okay. Interesting. Alright, sorry. I'll be back in a sec. My bad. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. But yeah, let's keep going. Culture medium. But yeah, it's super messed up that Mozano did that. I'm assuming she was the one who created the whole Lloyd thing, I'm pretty sure. If my assumption is correct. They've been holding out for more than 3 hours since entering the high pollution zone. Yeah, so far it's the top performer of this entire batch. Mizano reviews the combat logs recovered from the fallen construct's data chips and lets out a satisfied murmur. At the current pace, the next wave of frames will soon be ready to operate across an even larger combat zone. Data gathered in the battle can further refine our built-in shielding system. They speak of the previous mission as if it's no big deal, as though the loss in combat strength barely matters. Damn, that's kind of fucked. Don't be fooled by fleeting victory. Madame Mozano raises her head from the terminal and in her usual manner delivers a cautionary reminder. Because recall is the most vital step on the path to success. She understands exactly where her hunt is headed and cuts her off with a succinct reply. You have no right to be impatient, Eleanor. Don't forget, this is all for your benefit. Damn. Everything evolves, and the punching virus is no exception. Even if we manage to create frames that can withstand those intense conditions for a while, a single more potent outbreak can still wipe out all of our progress. Even our very memory itself. How could I ever stand by and let my beloved niece, my prized test subject 1, throw her life away for nothing? She takes pride in the aura of authority she commands. If humanity truly has a shot at immortality, then you're a Prometheus, aunt. As for me, I'll settle for being your stepping stone on the path to godhood. Speak your mind. Hiding your thoughts from me is your greatest offense. Lilith keeps her head bowed, trying to appease that towering pride, yet her disguise is swiftly stripped away. This latest mission shows me that the recall technology is truly within reach. She lifts the third chip in her hand and reveals it to Mozano. Her move is unhurried and deliberate. By establishing contact hardware link, Mako 3 managed to implant a fragment of memory into another construct's wreckage, rousing it if only for a moment. A direct hardware link? We can replicate that approach in our lab without much trouble. Madame Mozano shoots Lilith a disapproving glare. So the real issue lies in the medium of transmission. With our current wireless methods, we simply can't transfer all the data from the mind back to the central hub intact. Yeah, I'm alright. I keep thinking, why not use a different medium for the transfer? Her words carry little certainty. Lilith simply frames her remarks as suggestions, subtly steering the conversation at precisely the right moments. What medium? Punishing virus. Aunt's construct can handle the viral breach, though how long it holds out depends on the quality of its internal shielding. The punishing virus carries information in highly contaminated areas. It's absolutely pervasive. Lilith drops to settle in. She knows all too well that as long as there are enough backup test subjects, her aunt will accept any risk. Mazzano must prove herself right this time. She refuses to be outdone by Corono. So just we run a short-range memory transfer test between a construct and its backup frame in a high-density environment? Precisely. Exposing additional samples to high concentration of the punishing virus is the ideal way to lure the Ascension Network into play. Lilith doesn't mind orchestrating a few so-called successful accidents for her aunt. Yeah, I'm alright. Do you remember how you once ruled the card table? With an almost imperceptible smile, Mazzano smoothly steers the conversation in a new direction. Those days are long gone. Even if the world had turned upside down, staying by your side is what gives me purpose now, Aunt. Following the chip's logic, that's how she secures her wins. What I'm trying to say is that bold imagination of yours, the one that shatters every convention, is exactly why you can read every card player's mind. I'm glad to see that you haven't let your skills go to waste. Your life's work is guiding humanity's evolution, Aunt. It's a true privilege to lend you any insight I can. Lilith remains lost in memories of the city of entertainment, flashing an almost childlike smile in gratitude for the praise. She gently presses the chip with both hands, excitement dancing in her eyes. Let's file away this leftover combat data from Mako 3 for the time being. Madame Mazzano takes the chip from Lilith and slots it into the central hub with a resolute click. It holds the shattered memories and combat records of more than 1,000 fallen volunteers. The longing for Babylonia, the dream of reclaiming Earth, and even the smallest flickers of emotion, they're all stored in these tiny chips. Yet the newly added fragment holds a foreboding secret, a piece of Lilith's own backup hidden deep within her deep mind. If I recall correctly, you're about to unveil the official findings of the construct experiment, right, Aunt? Sensing that brief lull in the tension, she dares to say something that would usually be deemed an overstep. We're nowhere near where we need to be. The veteran operator swiftly regains their composure, offering a response guided by sharp, unerring judgment. But today is truly a day to celebrate. You know, I've never bothered with Babylonia's entertainment district. In fact, that sort of pandering makes my stomach turn. Madame's demeanor softens a bit, but Lilith understands exactly what she's hinting at. Yeah, I'm alright. San Lorenzo, tucked beneath the Dominic Memorial Plaza's main deck, is an upscale entertainment hub established by elite socialites who once graced Las Parados. They claim it's a grand tribute to Madame Mazzano for her role in the Great Evacuation, but in truth, it's merely an excuse to indulge their own whims. Well, since the mission is a success, why not indulge me with a drink tonight? After all, I'm curious to see if my niece's mixology skills have dulled. She teases with a casual air, allowing a sliver of her usual hauteur to slip away. Lilith moves forward, slipping her arm through her aunt's like an excited child. Aw. Don't worry, I've got every single one of those classic recipes down pat. They make their way toward the exit, savoring hard-earned respite after intense battles and experiments. Lilith thinks back to the day she first saw Babylonia in all its glory. The massive shell endures the fiercest cosmic radiation, tumbling debris, granting its inhabitants an unyielding sanctuary. But strength brings isolation, and for anything that craves unbridled growth, its sealed space is the perfect breeding ground. Petri dishes, test samples, microbial creatures, each one is absolutely vital. Mazzano and Lilith enter the elevator bound for the entertainment wing. No one seems to notice that the data central hub tied to the shipwide network is pulsing with a faint, unsettling crimson glow. Oh shit. Well, that ain't good. Aw, this is cute. Oh, damn. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, damn. All right. Got him. Interesting. I wonder why. Yeah, of course they did. Why do you think they... Of course they did. Uh-huh. Come on. Boom. Got him. Check surveillance. Oh, this is sus for real. Oh, shit. Oh, damn. We're actually seeing her, huh? Hey, oh, all right. Oh, shit. We're attacking her. God damn. Yeah, sure. Right. All right. Let's go then. Hi. Time to go downstairs. Oh, damn. What a design. Literally a blackjack thingy. Or a roulette thing. Or Russian roulette table. Damn, alright. Alright. Remnants of server and security drones lie strewn across the floor, a stark contrast against the lavish patterns. Once the intense clash subsides for a moment, the female contract stands there, breath hitching in her throat. It's unbelievable how fast it's spreading, like a shot of pure adrenaline, even fiercer than the strongest liquor. Relax, we got all the time in the world. No need to rush things. She strolls past the writhing corrupted and smoothly drives her umbrella's tip into her, like she's merely leaning on a walking cane. Alright. Grr. That last threat is gone. It's always been this straightforward, hasn't it? I can't believe I'm only seeing it clearly now. The filtering, as they put it, demands the courage to throw oneself into the crucible. Has the quarantine been lifted? A sharp inquiry crackles over the comms channel. Her aunt is on the line. All done. The system's internal scan traced the corruption to a data chip left behind by the gray Mako, enough to carry punishing straight into the central hub. You mean to tell me that you skipped the decontamination step after retrieval? If you just want to die, at least come right out and say it. Oh shit. A revolver shot rings out amid the crowd screams, but it fails to stifle that furious voice. The data chip that was tampered with earlier has produced almost immediate results. Lilith remains unconcerned. She knows that as long as her aunt and she can quell any threats by force, this crisis can be chopped up to a minor mishap. I didn't expect such a painful lesson. No more chatter. Deal with the matter at once. We've lifted the quarantine temporarily to ensure smoother travel. The emergency lockdown on the experimental sector still holds. Once this is over, we'll root out the source of the outbreak. I've got urgent business to handle. Secure their low levels, now. As you wish, madam. The transmission cuts off without warning. The source? The only things that were... If only things were truly really that straightforward. Lilith lets out a quiet scoff, curling her tongue before exhaling a soft breath. The hypersensitive sensor array can detect even the faintest disturbance. In an atmosphere thick with nitrogen and oxygen, tiny shards of punching data have already spread elsewhere. They slip beneath the detection, slowly attaching to more hosts over the years, until those who fear its presence realize, all too late, what's been unleashed. Damn, alright. Huh. Interesting. Oh. It's nectar. It's a life-giving shower. One's own hand-given prize. She doesn't even bother to fear that Mozano could grow suspicious. History is filled with poisoners by the dozen, yet no one would suspect someone who volunteers to drink the poison. It's that unshakable common sense, that bedrock belief held by Mozano who commands order, that serves as Lilith's trump card. This place is her own paradise, and time is on her side. Though we each view the punching virus in our own way. Yeah, ultimately, we all depend on it to fill our ambitions, dear aunt. Surely you've known this all along, haven't you? She basks in the euphoria swirling within her mind as she steps into the elevator bound for their lower lab. Alright, damn, alright. Interesting. Interesting indeed. So this is all Lilith's plan. So this is all part of Lilith's plan to take over and really just gain access to the Ascension Network. Huh? Alright. Okay, let's go. All right. Sorry about that. I'm back. But yeah, let's keep going. The Pioneer. Oh, we're dropping in right into the gameplay. Oh shit. Okay. That's creepy. Yikes. Got him. Oh, data fragment one. Oh shit. Okay. Oh, that's Lloyd. Oh shit. Got him. Oh, another data fragment. Oh, Zero? Isn't that like one of the ones from the Church of Isn't Zero from like the Church of Machina? Oh shit. Yeah, okay, buddy. 4. Oh shit. All right. Yeah, you are. Good job, buddy. Damn. All right. Okay. Got him. Damn, okay. Okay. Well, damn, okay. Okay. 30 minutes earlier. Crimson emergency lights wash over the seemingly endless corridor, their flickering rhythm allowing brief flashes of the original blue glow to break through. Okay. A pallid dark gold filigree strands tarnished by thick, soupy liquid. In her hazy state, Mazzano stances the whales pressing in on the very heart of her gaze. Has my frame been compromised as well? A sudden twitch flickers at the corner of her eye, but the haughty smile quickly takes over her face once more. It doesn't matter if Eleanor slipped up or if she's scheming behind our backs. This direct encounter with the punishing virus opens a once-in-a-lifetime window for experimentation. Punishing serves as a vessel for information. Ultimately, any conscious mind can be broken down into pure data. Because the salvaged battlefield chips are compromised, it also indicates that their stored data has already begun its transfer into another form. There's no time to reflect. A hulking, corrupted construct barrels out from around the corner without warning. There's only one path. Wildly brandishing its vibroblade, it shatters the corridor's decorative displays in one savage sweep. Damn. With deft reflexes, Mazzano sidesteps. She notices that the frame's ankle joint has already fallen prey to corrosion. The construct doesn't even manage to lift its weapon before smashing into the floor with a thunderous crash. Could it be a lack of combat readiness? Today, these frames seem far more vulnerable than usual. Even now, the husk jerks on the floor, a grimy blend of oil and fluid oozing from its mouth. If you want to break free, there's only a single way forward. Mazzano ignores the incoherent whispers, clearly displeased by the result. Even if this was an unforeseen breach, the frame should have endured far longer. She drives her gilded exoskeletal claws straight through the shattered remains. Yeah. After a harrowing shriek, it goes still and breathes its last. Mazzano hauls the construct's wreckage behind her, rushes down the corridor to its far end, and returns to the lab housing the central hub data. Just as she feared, the once vibrant green glow has been all but consumed by a sinister red, and the quarantine system wails on a shrill alarm. Damn. We still have time. Lock everything down first, then in a single high-density environment, run the return transmission experiment. She draws in a sharp breath and holsters her revolver against her leather pants. Eleanor's timing is always so impeccable. Activate. She stands before the control terminal, her voice ringing with firm resolve. She gives the order. Voice print scan in progress. Madame Marie Adriana Mazzano. Construct code UAF07. Welcome. The screen flares to life in a flash, her fingers gliding across its surface. Initiating full lockdown on the experimental deck. With initial phase complete, Mazzano turns to inspect the culture dish. Beyond that wall, hundreds of identical pillars stand, enveloping the volunteers in frames they're about to inhabit. Unforeseen twists and chance and occurrences can so often yield the most pivotal factors in an experiment. She lifts her arm and slams the newly acquired test subject, dragged all the way into the lab, onto the operating table. He pulls the Mako 3 data chip straight from the central hub, then slots it into the port just above the Rex spinal column. No safeguards, no hesitation. Mako 3. Mozana's voice is icy as she repeats the code name, paying no heed to the virus concentration spiking in this airtight space. Structural integrity is at critical levels. The codename appears to trigger some reflex, but it stays frozen in place. The eerie proclamation rings out like a pre-recorded alert. System check fails. Attempting reboot. Memory data incomplete. Initiating emergency format. Initiate the plan. The dead emissaries deliver a succinct order. Command abort formatting. Re-uploading data. Data integrity check fails. Disjointed electrical signals sputter in and out. Backup frames readiness checks are finished. We're about ready to proceed. She steps away from the operating table, turning toward the incubation chamber. Command backup hardware detected. Initiating data transfer. At its core, the punishing virus's information, which isn't wholly incompatible with memory data. Our priority is ensuring the medium remains stable before we send it back, and that every part of the mind has been completely converted into data. From a purely theoretical standpoint, your memory can be backed up through hardware and implanted in any form of data storage. Or perhaps you'd rather rise again as some kind of cleaning drone. She casts a sidelong glance at the automated chemical waste clean on the floor, her voice dripping with malice as she speaks under her breath. Mozano knows the husk on the table has lost all sense of self. It can't possibly grasp human words anymore. Still, she refuses to abandon hope that this experiment will yield a breakthrough. Target hardware locked. Initiating data transfer. Mozano wastes no time, quickly finalizing initial commands on the control panel. The battery construct sensors flicker weakly, then die out completely. Its half-upright frame slumps to the floor. For the next few minutes, under the cramped ceiling, an eerie hush settles in. Like the hush before the end of all things. The drone of ventilation system and the frame's virus warning fade beneath the low thrum pulsing from the Mozano reactor's core. As if sparked by the stifling heat in the air, a figure within one of the incubation pods jerks violently. She stops pacing in impatience and moves closer, accessing the frame's vital readings data directly. Damn, alright. System rebooting. Reboot complete. Importing data calibrating. So close, just one more step. A blue-white progress bar glides seamlessly across the screen, so flawlessly that it leaves her momentarily stunned. Please enter boot command. She doesn't hesitate. With the code ingrained in her mind, she keys it into the terminal. Grand speeches are just historians' embellishments for those who follow, while the acts that truly alter civilization often go unnoticed. One command, one letter, or just the top of a holographic screen. That's all it takes. Harnessing cutting edge checked out with death. Such a bold ambition can enchant even the most zealous follower. Those who can stand unyielding in the face of the punishing are destined to rule the new world. Those highborn elites who cut and run the moment of trouble brews dare to proclaim themselves humanity's final hope. Certain of her triumph, the Mistress Tink makes no show display of celebration. Quite the opposite. She grits her teeth and spits out a scornful remark, finding an unexpected release in the act. It's a shame that those who hold creationism sacred view Darwin as a heretic, while those who treat evolution like unbreakable law can never truly understand what adaptability means in this new age. Damn. He once drifted through the sea of terror, lost in the soil of his own oblivion, but now he presses on, guided only by the strength of his will. Fragments of thought are carried away by punching, then settle like flowing sand into the depths of the mind. He feels no terror toward the swirling abyss itself, but the weightless sensation of having no anchor leaves him shaken. Time, space, emotion, reason all slip beyond his reach. He gazes into the pitch black veil, gripped by fear and uncertainty. He slowly regains his clarity, a choice that isn't really a choice. More like destiny, he hurls himself into the endless void, where shifting sands twist into slender silver strands skirting past him. Memories he can't recognize detonate and then fade away at the far edge of the darkness. Alright. The shifting sands recede, leaving behind only the scars of a fleshy torment in the lingering darkness. In due time, he will inevitably make his way back to this place. But now he has returned, taking form in a vessel substantial enough for the real world to contain. He studies himself, collecting his thoughts. I am. He flings his burning question into the depths of his mind, and the echoing ripple he expects greatly rises in reply. What surfaces now isn't a combat call sign or a mech code, but the name he once claimed before giving up his human body to answer the call of reclaiming Earth. System fully activated. I am Lloyd. Oh shit. He speaks slowly and deliberately, the words that mark both the beginning and the end. Oh shit, so she definitely brought back Lloyd and actually sort of quote unquote created Lloyd. Oh shit. Then the light in his eyes fades. This is his final death. In the end, death remains an unconquerable finale. Damn. Damn, alright, jeez. Well, that's a bit dark. Damn, that's a bit of a dark ending there. And a dark sentiment at the end. Damn. Damn, that's a bit of a dark sentiment at the end. All right, sorry about that. But yeah, let's keep going. Lesson for all. In a secluded corner of the massive warship, the interrogation presses on. Oh, are you back in the present? Oh shit. The experiment's a no-show. Sounds like the projects have gone too well, so the old man's no longer banking on those rookies. Indeed, the mind fusion trial is going even better than we anticipated. Science, Technology, Progress, and Safeguard Act Article 1092 passes. Death row inmates are Project Thill's test subjects. It's that frigid winter afternoon where shears cut straight between the ribs. Rosewater's final thought flickers in his mind, a chrono intranet message, back when he hadn't opened his tailor shop. He sits in the chilly, desolate office of Pollard Orphanage. Staring at the short announcement on his terminal, he feels a surreal, almost transcendent kind of absurdity. If you fail to address the human body's inherent limits, even zero-point energy won't help us conquer the stars. Project Bokanon, testing an artificial ecosystem to prove the colony ship's habitability? Sure. I can bankroll it. I'd be thrilled if this simpler route pans out, but you know what they say. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Keep your mind intact while altering your body might be the most worthwhile path. These kids matter more than a whole mercenary division, more than any cold fusion reactor, and even more than a Deep Autumn-class starship. When all is said and done, they may be our only real hope for change. He still remembers the old man's instructions, but promises mean nothing in the face of changing circumstances. Transplanting a child's brain into a mechanical shell is an irredeemable sin. In frantic efforts to transfer infused memory have quickly usurped Rosewater. Expendables may acquiesce, but in the end, humanity cannot silence his conscience. We made a promise to the other side. That's why we are willing to dive into this tainted blood in the first place. What now? Are we supposed to just let ourselves drown in the sea of blood? Our test subjects remain invaluable resources. Your service to Corona won't be so easily erased. Building on this pool of candidates, the old man has formed the Pollard Agency, a branch of Chrono Intelligence operating directly under his authority, and I've been named its director. Damn, alright. An executive mandate from the group's top brass seems to have emboldened her, and she slips out from under the title of Rosewater's deputy without hesitation. Intelligence Agency, my people are little more than Pavlov's dogs, barely able to read and acting only on pure conditioned reflex. The overwhelming absurdity boils over into fury, and he spits out a venomous comeback. Isn't that precisely the most essential and precious trait of a special agent? You don't overthink the purpose behind orders, even wonder if the mission's beyond your ability. You just rely on the instinct and do whatever it takes to see it through. So what about their basic knowledge? The old man plans to chip away at the world government with a bunch of kids who can't even read the research read the research or pretend to be respectable? They're here for one reason, to survive that procedure. If they're fortunate, they'll get a second shot at life. And you know as well as I do that the busiest places in this facility are the incinerator in the basement and the construct reclamation chamber. He still thinks everything is beyond reason. Accomplishments are the only salve for his conscience, but the comforts he's clung to are on the verge of being stripped from him. You don't need to worry. Agents come in all forms, and it's unreasonable to think kids can know everything. Soon enough, the Pollard Agency will bring in adult recruits, while these children become Section 0, Surveillance and Purifying Department. The woman remains expressionless. For her, this exchange is nothing more than a routine transfer of responsibilities. Those little assassins from Corono. He surrenders his struggle as though he's known all along that this is inevitable. Correct. She has already provided all the crucial details. Now she rises from her armchair. Savor what little time you have left at this orphanage, Director. Rosewater remains rooted to behind his desk like a bronze statue. So lost in thought, he doesn't even register the door clicking shut behind the departing visitor. He fails to notice the waterproof sheet, its surface marked with an anatomical diagram, fluttering to the floor behind him. After a long pause, as though roused from a dream, he slides open his desk drawer and withdraws a file. Inside lies the roster of more than 100 children under his care, names and details Rosewater has already committed to memory. Damn. Because he personally handpicks more than half of those candidates himself. Until the takeover officially goes through, I'm still the one in charge. You're right. Damn, alright. I understand. When the child hears the middle-aged man's order, she just gives a quiet nod in response. The director, with his gold-rimmed glasses, almost never sets foot in the dorm. It's common knowledge. Most of the children only catch a glimpse of this mysterious figure on their very first day. Yet he settles by the loneliest child's bedside, murmuring secrets beyond everyone else's earshot. Behave yourself. Don't waste this opportunity. Pack your things. He pats the child's shoulder and rises from the folding chair. The little girl lowers her head in silence, vanishing behind the wardrobe door. A minute later, every last one of her belongings is tucked neatly into a single duffel bag. All right, let's go. Once the man departs with the child in tow, a wave of hushed whispers slowly spreads through the room. She's been chosen for the operation. Their self-appointed leader delivers the news without a hint of hesitation, stirring unease among the group. No way, she's such a nobody. Why would anyone single her out? Even though the little sidekick speaks up, he still doesn't dare reveal what's really on his mind. I already know what you're thinking. Eleanor is the star pupil. Why isn't she the one who's being sent to die instead? Oh, damn. They're really jealous, huh? She acts like she doesn't bother her at all, even though they're tearing apart with their words. What the fuck? What the hell? Ooh. I'm sorry. Somebody's outside my window. What the fuck? I'm sorry, what? Bothered, even though the turn party with their own words sitting right there in the corner of the same dorm. I'm sorry, what the hell? Somebody's outside my window. Somebody's outside my window. And on the roof of the house where I'm living. I'm sorry, I need a second. I'll be back. Alright, sorry guys. It's okay. Everything's fine, I guess. I just learned that somebody is my mom just learned that my mom just hired my parents just hired sorry, I just learned that my parents just hired someone to change some light bulbs on the roof. So yeah, everything's cool. Everything's fine. Everything's all right. So it turns out there's an upside of being defiant, huh? Maybe the grown-ups worried that if they strap her onto an operating table, she'll smash every last vial and jar in sight. That cocky tease sparked a round of laughter, and the ringleader shot a careful glance toward the far corner of the room. But to Eleanor, snide remarks like those stopped mattering ages ago. Across the dorm, two girls speak in hushed tones, oblivious to everything else going on. Could it really be the way they claim? Oh, Discord. The blue-haired girl asks in a steady, composed voice. No, that's not it. The child's already been taken in by someone. Who took her in? I was under the impression that this facility was strictly off limits. That day, on my way to file my injury report, I happened to pass by the director's office. He's on the phone, speaking so quietly that it makes one to strain to catch every word. But Lenore can afford to be a sneaky little eavesdropper. So I'm standing here on the bench in the hallway, folding up my reporting, setting it beside my skirt. I'm just a bit lost. Once the director is done with his call, I'll ask him how to find the doctor's office. That floor remains silent. She withholds any opinion and simply presents the facts she has. Exactly, and that's how the conversation just slipped out, letting Eleanor overhear by accident. Damn. Unfortunately, the director's call is nearly over. It sounds like he's given some sort of assurance, and he wraps up with a confident and final remark. I'll be counting on you from here on, Mr. Trout. Here on out, Mr. Trout. So he ended up being adopted by the person on the other end of the call? I don't know what this is. That day, I asked the director about it. He sized me up in surprise before finally telling me the attending doctor was on vacation. Okay. Huh. The busiest person at Polar taking a vacation? I certainly went to check that office and found the door tightly locked. In her eyes, Discord is the best listener. She believes sharing this information isn't risky, since the shifting circumstances will inevitably make their way through the children sooner or later. Alright. Yeah, this moment truly marks the first time she feels fear. She no longer holds a tight grip on how events will play out. Looks like we might not be able to continue this surgery. At last, she chooses to share her conclusion. Oh. The blue-haired girl doesn't know how to respond. She can't even grasp what any of this means. What any of this truly means. No take-backs. You're the one who nudged that marble just now. Didn't you hear the boss? Drop that marble. The bed near the entrance is once again overtaken by playful commotion as the rowdy kid sees this rare free moment, shouting and laughing while they start a game of checkers. It's just that, even if Eleanor and Discord show a bit of interest, they rarely ever join in on games like these. After all, Eleanor anticipates her opponent's every move and never hesitates to corner them into a checkmate. Later on, whenever Eleanor wasn't around, the bratty kids who lost that chest would unleash their frustration on Discord. Let them do as they please. Our remaining days are running out. I still don't get it. If I'm adopted, does that mean I'll be living with a whole new mom and dad? I suppose so, Discord. I believe that is how it is. Not a single child knows what surgery really means. When the instructor is nowhere to be seen, the caretaker wheels a little cart into the dorm. Sometimes it's Christmas, sometimes Children's Day. She always gives every child a small slice of cherry top cake. Cut off from the world, these kids don't know what the holidays mean, but the overly sweet white frosting beats any cookie or mashed potatoes. Aww. Alright. But there are times when the instructor walks straight to the child's bedside and places a small bag of sugar tablets in their hands. The chosen child tips a handful of bright candy-like beads into their mouth, then follows the instructor out of the dorm room. Oh, okay. Children like that are never seen again. Oh, damn. Oh, shit. That's dark. An adoption program? If you're bent on throwing your life away, just fill out the paperwork. The old man will dispatch his finest assassin to greet you. The woman slams a stack of files onto the desk, though she holds herself with a regal calm. Her words crackle with an unmistakable threat. Damn, alright. You seem to have overlooked two critical words. Top secret adoption program. The orphanage's secret stays under wraps. It won't jeopardize Project Cathilla's next steps or compromise the Pollard Agency in any way. The man known to the children as director remains composed as he addresses the accusations. Besides, I've only been sending away candidates with mediocre aptitude. Just the other day, a psychiatrist took a very withdrawn child whose test scores were consistently at the bottom. So if you think about it differently, I'm actually doing the Pollard Agency a favor by filtering out only the finest talents. He delivers his argument without a single crack. Are you aware of the reason I'm here today? The visitor shifts their tone, but it can hardly consider be friendly. Any further handover matters we need to address? To the old man, only top secret intel that needs to be destroyed after reading ever makes it onto the paper. It's right there on the table. Check it yourself. She nods toward the pile of documents, prompting Rosewater to flip open the cover page. An appointment order? He braces himself for the worst, but this turn of events still defies all logic. Oh, damn. The individual seated across the desk sneers with frosty contempt. I still can't fathom why the old man holds you in such high regard. He took you out of your orphanage, but he's offering you another way forward. All the same. From this day forward, you're an agent of the Pollard Agency. Take it or... The woman tilts her head, examining a jewel with a wry sort of interest. The director knows that beneath its crystal clarity lurks the most lethal cyanide. I never once faltered in my loyalty to Corona. You have no cause for concern. I accept the assignment. His cool professional demeanor returns, shutting out every hint of emotion. Very well, your first mission is already in motion. Looks like this is my chance to atone. He seizes every inch of discussion, leaving no room for anyone else. Call it whatever you want. Either way, the old man gave you the green light for Project Bakunin's operational phase. Project Cthulhu is our first move to secure the future, but we must stay alert to the role of the government's every maneuver. Oh boy, that ain't great. Project Eden is now on the table, but from day one, Chrono doubts the viability of a starship's self-contained ecosystem on such a lengthy voyage. Project Bakunin grants us a new edge in this battle, and the facility is set to operate at the North American Ecological Science Institute, hundreds of kilometers from here. What do I have to do? The newcomer's already laid out the situation. He always cuts straight to the chase. Adriana Mozano, the Institute's director, needs a massive budget to kick off construction. The old man's pinning his hopes on Project Cthulhu, so he's unwilling to cover her entire request. But out here in the desert, there's a city said to have streets of gold, isn't there? And the real power behind Los Parados just happens to be Mozano's brother, Sinclair, and his wife. She turns her eyes to the window as though her gaze could cut through the barren lands around the orphanage and reach that fabled paradise. You want me to help Mozano secure funding from Los Parados? You're well aware I'm no expert when it comes to handling finances. He isn't happy about this at all. It's as if the old man handed him this assignment just to watch him stumble. Oh, don't get ahead of yourself. The file you're holding includes the latest report of the Sinclair couple. Why don't you read it first? Rosewater flips through the stack of printouts again, skimming the details inside. Alright. While traveling, Fred Sinclair crosses paths with singer Phyllis Sinclair, who's 31 years younger than him. Oh shit, oh, yikes, ah. He receives a confirmed diagnosis of infertility and is looking to adopt a child, no gender preference. Fred's sole surviving immediate family member is his younger sister. He raises his head from the stack of documents, locking eyes with Polangowski's razor-sharp stare. So, those pet assassins of yours, ready to unleash them? Even murdering the Sinclair couple won't ensure Mozano takes over their estate. He snaps the folder shut, dread already creeping into his thoughts. Damn. Naturally, no one gives their fortune to an equal, but the love we hold for our children remains unwavering. Especially when it's an old, wealthy man with no children who's shooting blanks himself, but still pins all his hopes for offspring on his young bride. Rosewater pauses, realizing the implication behind Polangowski's words. You plan to adopt... It's a really great idea. It's making things so much easier for everyone. In the end, what really set her off was that Rosewater went ahead and acted on his own. When are we starting the operation? You can go ahead and find someone suitable now. I leave you to it. Rosewater takes a deep breath. Once the visitor is gone, for the first time ever, he holds back the familiar prayer. May the Lord watch over us. Yeah, may he watch over you, for real. Hey, where is his lordship now when children are used as mere instruments? Yeah, true. Yikes. It's the same office as before, but now the figure seated opposite the desk is much smaller than the new director of this institution. Have we received the results of the previous injury report yet? Yet. He's only half present while making small talk, quietly planning on how to steer what comes next. I thought the director said the attending doctor was on vacation. Look at me, getting forgetful after coming of age. Please don't say that. Director's already worrying himself sick about everyone. The ghost composed smile reminds Rosewater exactly why he chose her without hesitation. He doesn't care whether this remarkable child picks up her reading and where this child picks up her reading and writing skills, nor does he dwell on the reason behind her perfect pitch. And he certainly doesn't bother investigating the dorm rumors that she's a checkers master. After all, each of these gifts is an invaluable edge for their mission. You're a bright kid. You've probably noticed that Paulette's situation is far from ideal. You've been hanging on by the skin of her teeth thanks to the hospital deal, but... He weighs his words, wondering just how carefully he should speak to the girl before him. Is it because every procedure has run into complications? Damn. That's one way to put it. Seeing how composed the girl is, he understands that trying to sugarcoat things would be a waste of time. Anyway, this place is about to shut its doors for good. Countless people out there long for a child but never get the chance, hoping to make their family whole. That's where you're headed, a new home with them. The director offers a cold promise of an impossible future. Director, you called for me. Was there something you wanted to discuss? You always made us your top priority, Director. I promise I'll follow your guidance. She slips on a smile, and so flawless it's almost unsettling, and Rosewater can't begin to guess what's hidden beneath its surface. An older gentleman and his wife saw our adoption notice. They've taken quite a liking to you and plan to choose a suitable day to meet. We've got everything scheduled. They're arriving on the day after tomorrow. You can't quite explain why, but the way they phrase it makes his skin crawl, like they're discussing some stray off the streets. Damn. Yeah, does this mean they'll be my new mom and dad? Before he can even mention the toughest part of his request, the girl is already bouncing with excitement and letting out a thrilled cheer. Aw. Director, there's no need to worry. I'll make sure to do my very best. However, I do have one small favor to ask. The sparkle in her eyes briefly fades, but her courteous smile never wavers. It's your friend, right? Don't worry, I've taken care of everything. Her new place is just around the corner from you. Beneath his glasses, there's a sober intensity. This is the only time he truly speaks from the heart. No lying, all right? I promise. He can't wrap his head around how she glides so smoothly from elegant reserve to playful glee. Maybe she's the perfect person for the job, but for the first time, Rosewater feels a strange, creeping dread. Yeah, I'm alright. So me, Discord and director, we'll still get a chance to meet again someday, right? Hmm. Rosewater doesn't answer. Damn. The corners of the girl's eyes curves into a joyful arc. That reminds him of Scythe's sharp edge. Damn, alright, that's a hell of a description. In the large dormitory, most of the beds now lie empty. The luggage and packs left behind look all the more conspicuous against the emptiness. Rosewater watches as the blue-haired girl huddled in the corner, releasing a quiet sigh. This is all I can do for you. He reflects on this thought as he moves forward. Discord? The girl says nothing. Discord, it's time for us to leave. The girl rises slowly. She never defies a command. And Eleanor? You realize we didn't get to decide anything here. The adoptive family does. So am I being left behind again? She doesn't lash out or make a scene. Instead, she dims the final flicker of a dying flame. Eleanor is getting a new home. How great is that? The moment he speaks, he realizes just how empty his words of comfort sound. The girl remains silent. Our destination is practically right next door to Eleanor's new home. It's my newly opened tailor shop, located in Los Parados, the same town you once called home. As soon as the man utters that word, the girl freezes in place. A tailor shop? She enunciates each syllable carefully, as if a long-lost memory is stirring to life. Who would have thought director had a trick like that up his sleeve? Don't worry, your new life is about to start any moment now. Taking advantage of the moment, he gently clasps her hand, offering quiet reassurance. The girl nods softly and quietly starts gathering her belongings, offering no further words. Aw, damn. Hey, oh yes, now here we are. Los Parados, 3 days later. Sleek and meticulously tailored attire complements the subdued decor. The girl's concept of fashion still revolves around cloaks and combat fatigues. Until this moment, she's only observed similar styles from the patrons frequenting the entertainment hall. Oh, the music here, man. He guides her up the polished wooden staircase to the second floor, then pushes open a small door off to the side. Inside is a warm, fully equipped bedroom, a world apart from the dorm's rigid uniform bunks. This is your new home. Violet's the night's almost upon us, and we've had a rough trip. Let's call it a day and get some rest, shall we? Roger. It's as though the only thing that registers in her mind is being given orders. No more drills here, and definitely no more orders. Take it easy, Discord. She ignores it all, heads straight for the bed, and retrieves a set of restraints from her pack. She lifts her wrist, ready to carry out the move etched into her reflexes, only for the man to snatch that orange-yellow strip away in an instant. Damn. There's no need for that anymore. Besides, the training suit's built-in cleaning cycle can't hold a candle to a proper hot shower. He gestures toward the bathroom door on the other side of the bed. Thank you, Doctor, but I really am feeling a bit worn out. Very well. One last thing. There are going to be quite a few new faces around here soon. The city's crawling with all kinds. It's far from safe. He smoothly changes subject, his voice gentle. Whatever you do, don't leave without talking to me first. The second floor has everything you need. Take some time with it if you're interested. Alright. The girl knows exactly what he implies. It's a simple play way of declaring she's grounded. Damn. Alright then, good night. Behind him, the heavy wooden door gives off a steady thump. The girl slips out of her training uniform and settles forward onto the soft bed. Where could she be? Honestly, she finds herself missing Eleanor, even though she's been cast aside yet again. She can't bring herself to resent the feeling of being needed. The strange house arrest decree leaves her unsure of her path in the tailor shop, but she can't quell the deep-seated longing that stirs within. Oh, alright. Alright. Before she ever set off on her wanderings, sewing was the skill she excelled at most, and the one she treasured with quiet pride. Regardless, tonight proves to be the most restful sleep she's had in what feels like ages. Aw. For the first time, there are no restraints binding her wrists to the bed frame, and in her dream, she's embraced by the warmth of the true freedom. In the dream, the overture of Tannhauser rings out with a sharp, resonant clarity. Hey, alright, nice. Palangoski wraps up the lengthy story, and after a soft cough, falls quiet. Sir Rosewater took Discord under his wing, then claimed he was founding a Las Parados intel station to dig his roots into the city. Oh shit, damn. No wonder the old man tried to have him taken out by someone else. Was he really treating the agency's candidates like personal property? He cuts Palangoski short, spitting his complaints in a venomous growl. Yes, he believes it's the least he can do to keep things safe. He refuses to let Discord join the Pollard Agency's Section 0. So much for that protection. It doesn't seem to have worked out too well, does it? After Eleanor finishes her task, Project Bokunon makes steady headway for a while, at least until the old man, pleased with Project Thilla's progress, decides to shut down our funding entirely. In the aftermath of the assassination attempt, Discord stays close to Mozano, quietly gathering information, but none of them foresee how punishing will upend every carefully laid scheme. Convinced she's turned Discord to her cause, Mozano wants her to back in Corono as a double agent. Naturally, once the punishing virus outbreak hits, both Mozano and Eleanor vanish without a trace. Word has it they managed to pull out safely. I'm inclined to trust that version of events. Don't worry about that. And thanks to Thanks for sharing your old tales. We'll dismantle every single screw in Babylonian and inspect them one by one. Someone of her stature arrives on this colossal warship, and we don't even give her a proper welcome. We really should have done better. He once again feigns that heartfelt look, an emotion worn like a mask. Of course this fucker does that. You already know how everything turns out after that. The former head of Polar Agency finishes her story. She even gives a hint of feels a hint of relief, having once believed these secrets would follow her to her grave. Such a stirring sight. People willing to swallow their pride and shoulder the load like our first president. We've got no shortage of those in Corono. The man closes the file of records. His face contorts as he forces out a few tears, nearly letting genuine emotion break through. But Palangoski understands all too well that this is the final judgment. We'll figure out how to deliver this report to the Parliament. As long as someone is willing to shoulder those unspeakable failures, our progress will never stall. Let the past remain buried. Once the Parliament sees a statement declaring all human experimentation projects have been terminated, they'll surely concur. Your sacrifice paves the way for the real Project Winter to forge ahead without a hitch. He produces a time-worn flask, its surface etched with rust, and slams it onto the metal tabletop. That was once Palangosi's possession. Damn. So for privacy for the lady, then? Damn. The man rises and steps out of the room. She ignores the mockery, voluntarily forfeiting the chance to have the last word. Last words never cross her mind. They're for heroes, not for someone like her. She dips her gaze toward the emerald trinket, where a flawless sheen conceals a deadly dose of cyanide. Damn. Palangosi twists the flask caps open and empties the trinket's contents inside. She gives the flask a brisk shake, like a bartender preparing a fatal cocktail. Dignified until the end, she now resolves not to depart in wordless surrender. A toast to the old world. Oh shit. With those words, she raises the jug and drains in a single unhesitating gulp. Oh shit, so she basically offed herself. Oh god. God damn, okay. So she essentially offed herself. Jesus Christ, man. Wow. Jesus, okay. Alright, I think with... Alright, now... Sorry about that, I'm back. But yeah. Alright, here we are. But yeah, that was definitely a dark ending with that last note, man. But oh yeah, wow. But yeah, I think with this next note, story note, will probably be the last story note for today. So yeah, let's go. Crimson Disease's Veil. Alright, let's go. Remains of Pollard Orphanage, outskirts of Las Parados. Alright. When encrypted presence is detected, punishing levels are nearing the containment limit. The shrill alarm blares over and over, but to Lilith, it rings out like a triumphant war cry. Big Sister's home, shouldn't you all look a bit more thrilled? From the depths below, the undead surge upward, straining against their rusted bodies as they creep toward our defenses with a nightmarish crawl. This horror is the byproduct of a botched experiment, a prototype construct built by trapping a child's brain inside a metal shell. The troops remain clueless that each enemy is a spirit doomed to wander, denied release. All they perceive is a nightmare ripped straight from the depths of hell. All units, pull back to defense. Ammo's running out. Call for backup now. Ready for evac. Dark crimson fluid splatters across the construct's wounds like rain, but they spare no moment to tend to it. Stay calm. Suppressive fire on the target group left corridor. Short bursts. Before the squad leader can finish giving orders, a deafening salvo of full-powered, high-explosive rounds drowns out his voice. Yeah, I'm alright. You want some too? Then come on, bring it! Grah! Throwing trigger discipline to the wind, the construct unloads a torrent of gunfire, only to have its ankle seized by corrupted, crawling right up to a defensive perimeter. He staggers once, then gets hauled over wooden floor stick with fluid and grime, desperately forcing his handgun free. Not today! Get away from me, freak! No, Director, I don't understand! Round after round tears into the slithering mangled husk. The corrupted convulses violently, spewing out garbled babbling in some mysterious fluid. Die! Just die! All of you, die! This kid's just started warming up. Don't crush the enthusiasm by being too harsh. The silver-haired girl watches the soldiers in the corrupted battle with keen interest, her long limbs carving a graceful arc through the air. Yeah, I'm alright. Like a gymnast nailing a high difficulty move, she whips her leg around. Her razor-sharp knee spike stops right at the shattered corpse's skull. Yeah, I'm alright. Captain Eleanor, thank you. He forces himself upright, but his gratitude dissolves into wet gurgle as fluid churns in his throat. Damn. The corrupted, stabbed in the head, snaps his metal arm upward and drives the corroded blade into the soldier's lower back. Lilith's non-lethal strike has only made the creature more ferocious. Whoa, what is this? What is this? A construct soldier collapses, and the echo of roars and gunshots in the corridor slowly fades away. Miss, I'm so sure I truly apologize. Its shattered form continues to spasm, dragging itself inch by inch toward Lilith. She recognizes his voice instantly, even though it's altered. She knows it's the confession of someone who once tormented others. You've certainly given us a warm reception, but my soldiers are confused. They just can't wrap their heads around why an orphanage would be the oddest spot for a punishing activity on the outskirts of Las Parados. Please, I'm begging you, The memory Buried beneath that iron exterior ends in the excruciating moment when my very mind was wrenched from my spine and skull. Years later, that imprisoned spirit is seized by an entity known as Punishing, becoming a mindless puppet, lost to the present. Discord, she's not here. The corrupted's hydraulics groan as though on the verge of collapse, and yet it manages to choke out its final words. Oh, you think I'm back here just for her? Aw. She offers a soft, rewarding laugh, as if expressing genuine thanks for the corrupted's honesty. The sea people are good at heart. It turns out they were right after all. In return, I promise I'll grant your wish. But my moon umbrella's already a mess. I simply can't risk getting it any dirtier, you know? The conscious calf compartment unfurls, revealing intricate mechanisms. A well-oiled folding blade snaps into place with a soft whir of gears. She moves as though stepping over the fallen construct soldier, lifting her foot with practiced elegance before letting her heel come down on the corrupted shattered remains. Good night, sleep in peace, free from any need of restraints. Damn, okay. No corrupted stir now, and the thunder of gunfire is faded. In the corridor leading to the orphanage basement, no one fights, and not a single voice is heard. Those once proud fire teams, Solemn, Scimitar, Ivy, Snowfarer, find their glorious legacies cut short in this final stand, lost amid the wet, muddy carnage. Beyond them all stands a lone construct beneath the moon umbrella. Oh shit. Her frame is streaked with the grime, and her boots are thick with dust and fluid. But she is still alive, needing no backup of her memory, no unbreakable circulation system to keep her going. She opens herself entirely to the network spun from the punching data. Oh, shit. Okay. Damn. Construct Fire Team maintenance deck, 2 hours later. So the final site we have to clear is the orphanage. She goes over the mission's coordinates again, her voice edged with dissatisfaction. That's right, it's the last high-density zone outside the city. The construct that has emerged from a brutal battle speaks with disarmingly calm detachment, as if narrating someone else's story. Did I let you down? Should I apologize? Her aunt casts a challenging look, and Lilith instantly grasps what she's getting at. Damn. Discord remains missing, and yet Lilith shows no signs of worry. So many years pass, even if there's any clue left behind, it's likely been eaten away by the rampant contamination. I appreciate you're still watching out for me, Aunt, but we have more urgent business to deal with right now. Since that leak incident a few years back, Lilith appears far more willing to align herself with Mozano's vision. The sum up our progress, we've wiped out the corrupted, threatened Las Parados, and effectively taken back control. With the city as our stronghold, their mission to reclaim the surface can finally get underway. However, building large-scale conservation areas demand extensive purification systems. For now, our best move is to establish a stronghold in Las Parados. Still, it stands as our first true victory in taking back the Earth. Damn. I'm proud I didn't end up slowing you down. Aunt. She packs every conversation so much decorum that it comes off a bit forceful, though technically flawless. Don't go patting yourself on the back. I haven't exactly pinned a medal on you yet. But the lady of the house is completely unfazed by that kind of smooth talking. I mean no disrespect. I'm honestly thrilled to see what you've managed to achieve all on your own, Aunt. The implications as if she doesn't want any kind of reward aside from recognition, but how could this be? Sure, the results are here, but what's your real aim? Taking charge of a construct unit? You want me to believe the top card player is vying for an officer's rank? Control over a conservation area, or is it something else altogether? Talk. Oh shit. Well, attention. For the first time, she backs her only living relative into a corner with no escape. You really don't know, Aunt? I've been gambling with my life all this time. Walking away unscathed from a high-stakes battle, that simple rush is like nothing else. Sure, I was at fault for letting my guard down back then. But that unexpected crisis also handed you even more chances to run your experiments, didn't it? Throwing myself into danger, turning the tables through skill, then reaping the rewards, that rush is everything I crave. I'm sure Auntie can see where I'm coming from, right? With a calm drop of her gaze, the girl answers the interrogation in a soft, measured voice, like telling a story. Don't get smart with me. You know perfectly well the only viable data sample escaped by latching onto the mechanoid. We've never been able to recreate those results. If it happened once, it will happen thousand times. Patience is the key to winning hands, after all. The once revered arbiter of the entertainment arena can rattle off those core principles as though reciting cherished heirlooms. Damn. How's it you're always the one who comes out alive? The girl, under attack by cruel words, wears a startled expression. I couldn't care less how many construct squads I lose, but every single time, it's the same one who comes back alive. This doesn't make sense. Her triumph claim barely hangs in the air before the mistress suddenly switches to an accusing tone. So on, using built-in shielding and transferring one's memory could be how we overcome punishing challenges and step into the next phase of our evolution, am I right? If you do nothing but flee from the virus, it's only a matter of time before it consumes you. It feels like she's gently walking a child through each step, her voice so soft it could be woven from cotton. Great genius, what's on your mind? An ultimate weapon that can drain the punishing virus? Madame Mazzano fires back with biting sarcasm. Damn. I suppose my complete lack of fear in these high-risk environments is the reason I've been so lucky to survive every time. Fear destroys clear thinking. Only a steady mind can make split-second accurate decisions. That's what boosts your odds of staying alive. Despite the tension, the girl stays composed, presenting a straightforward hypothesis without hesitation. It seems Madame Mazzano has decided to drop her line of questioning. Alright. It's of no real consequence. Odds, luck, call it whatever you will, but I hold my own trump card. I've been aware of all your contributions, so there's no need to fret. With a measured cadence, she restores her sovereign poise. As long as I remain in Babylonia, I'm bound to overthrow Kurono, and even topple Hassan himself. Yeah, nah. I don't care what schemes you're brewing, but here's some advice. If you can't rein yourself in before I seize power, the fallout won't just swallow you up, or me. Won't just swallow up you or me. Resources, authority, those lofty, elusive ideas still hold sway over every last survivor's destiny. I'm only going to warn you once. Don't play with fire or you'll get burned. I understand. The sliding door behind them gives a soft click. A blond man they haven't seen in ages steps into the hallway. Madam Eleanor, I'm here. Ah, this guy. Smooth op? Mozano doesn't say a word. Instead, she holds out the terminal for Kepfart to see. On Los Parados' real-time Warzone map, all traces of red have vanished. Now it's covered entirely in comforting blue. Damn. This is invigorating. Then we can move forward with drafting the proposal to return to the surface. Mr. Kepfart, so you've been re-elected yet again? Lilith suddenly drops this question out of nowhere, catching everyone off guard. Yes, Lancelot. The townspeople still appreciate everything we did during the crisis. Though he maintains an air of confidence, a subtle hesitation seeps into his response. Mazzano shoots him a knowing look. It's fine, speak your mind. Damn. A tense silence settles in the air. Sir, is there something you'd like to inform us about? I'm only here on an official appointment, so I'll explain. No need for votes, because there's no one left to vote. Yeah. What's going on here? Did something happen recently? She willingly steps into the role of frontline commander, completely oblivious to what's unfolding behind the lines. It's proof that you poured everything into the ground offensive, so much that you never sensed the upheaval aboard the ship. Because our retreat was so rushed back then, the ship's ecological systems never underwent a proper test. In short, water and food supplies are already running dangerously low. This is why we must accelerate our return to the surface. Madam lays out every detail of the intel that could upend the entire situation, speaking with the clipped efficiency of a briefing. But what about everyone living there? Remember, the Eden class was first conceived as a colony ship, outfitted with countless cryopods to endure the harsh realities of intergenerational voyages. When people enter extended low-temperature hibernation, their metabolism slows so drastically that they scarcely need any external support. Naturally, there's another perk in unfreezing a hero or two now and then. They emerge at full strength and can be converted into constructs straight away, reinforcing our ranks. Damn. Maybe that's the trump card her aunt is counting on, a colossal never-ending supply of manpower. Rest assured, a day-to-day in the core residential sector won't be disrupted in the slightest. Drink up and dance away. Honestly, maybe it's because our ground operations are going so smoothly that everyone's more pumped up than ever. The blonde man can never quite shake that playful streak in his nature. True. Policies and proposals still hinge on Kepfart and his peers to drive them forward. Until that future is won by a few, everyone else should offer their support and understanding. Does the Parliament truly approve of freezing the residents on such a massive scale? When it comes to protecting one's own skin, who wouldn't make the same call? Yeah, true. I mean, that is true of humanity. Is this just another cause choice by the powerful? Thus mediocrity's quiet dread enters. Oh shit. Shattering common knowledge, breaking sense of reason, uprooting every belief since humanity fled to orbit. Damn. Lilith can barely hold back her excitement. It's as if the entire world has gone mad, and no one even realizes why. Ever since that tiny spark of a singularity, every so-called plan and strategy has been undone by something far more ominous. Like a mad scientist peering through a microscope at colonies too small to see with the naked eye and reveling in it, she craves to witness how it all ends. Oh shit. It seems you and my aunt have things to discuss. If you'll pardon me, I'll take my leave. I'm heading over to San Lorenzo for a drink. Lilith infuses her words with a carefully measured hint of exhaustion. Please, miss, by all means. Merely pitch in those grueling fights is enough to send chills down my spine. Go on, indulge yourself. You've earned it. Of course she has, but the treat waiting for her is far more than a single buzzworthy cocktail. Moving forward, you still have to trouble Mr. Kepfart to handle the red tape on the Stronghold's construction. We sincerely appreciate your diligent efforts. Go, I believe you can keep it together, but don't let your guard down. It appears our esteemed guests are so overjoyed that they've completely lost themselves in the moment. Delivering both permission and a warning at once. That's very so Mozano. Lilith drowns her instinctive reply before it ever leaves her lips. Her aunt still believes the plan is rock solid. Has she really not let it go to her head? Thank you for your kindness, Aunt. In the end, the words she speaks fizzled out like flat soda water. Poised restraint is Lilith's hallmark style. All right. She departs the room, strides down the deserted hallway, and slips into the elevator bound for San Lorenzo's entertainment complex. All right. Beneath the crystal chandelier, the roar of the crowd surges, making every metal ring decoration tremble in its wake. Damn, this is a beautiful background. It's just like the day, long ago, when a young girl first set foot in the Lucky 38 casino. This place has never changed in the slightest. Whether during the Golden Age or in the aftermath of disaster, whether in Elysian City or beneath the orbital dome, its spirit endures. Another round. Come on, top it off, creds. Psh, I'm loaded with creds. An eccentric man waves his wine glass over the floor, shoving a flashy black and gold card right up in the robot bartender's face. Error, unrecognized input, reformatting. The mechanoid, unfazed by his shouting, just keeps looping his cryptid alert tone. Told you these metal suits are no match for flesh and blood. Can't even compare when it comes to touch. Ha ha ha. A rowdy customer holds a full glass of amber liquor at the robotic bartender, cackling a coarse laugh. Hey, don't throw good booze away. If you won't drink it, hand it over. The one who just asked for a refill seems utterly crestfallen, abandoning their glass on the velvet bar top as if in mourning. Damn. It won't listen to you, so what's wrong with me stepping in to straighten it out? A sharp rebuke lands him a fist that stinks of booze. Damn. Damn it, you bastard! Bring it on! Damn. Men in tailored suits wrestle in a vicious tangle, provoking raucous laughter from the card players at the next table. In the dim light, the decaying patches on their skin remain indistinct. No one really bothers with such unpleasant mood-killing details. Enjoy yourselves. A rank, suffocating air eats away at everyone's nerves. Not a single person notices the young woman with her moon umbrella, quietly threading her way through the bar in this labyrinth of poker tables. Her eyes settle on the self-serve buffet along one side of the hall. A time-tested tactic. Hand out free snacks and people will lose track of time and stick around. Of course, you can't find a clock in a place like this. Any hint of time passing gets taken out of the equation. Hey, why are we out of that fancy gold leaf bacon today? The automated cook on the other side of the diner's been dead silent for ages. The salad slides are practically buried under the dust. I knew these contraptions can't hold a candle to human hands. He stops fussing over extravagant requests. Lift the tray to survey the mountain of food before him. Yeah. Let's kick things off with a roasted lobster. With thick, stubby fingers, he scoops up a fungus-riddled morsel and stuffs it straight into his mouth. Lilith can practically smell the rot in the air. Like a lingering phantom, the punishing virus refuses to be banished. It steadily gnaws away at once pure air and delicate flesh, year after year. They call it the unaffected core district, and yet the labs beneath are sealed off entirely, serving as a perfect petri dish for the punishing virus. Much more. But what in the world did I just eat? The man's face contorts in agony, and he chokes out a harsh, gut-wrenching heave. An unnatural dark red tinge spreads across his tongue and neck. Oh, shit. Bon appetit, everyone. She instinctively runs her tongue across her lips. The raucous crowd is none the wiser, but the atmosphere brims with the sensation she craves. The girl wastes no time heading to the escalator that leads straight to the first floor lobby. Oh shit, yo, this art. Okay. Ooh, I love this art. Seductive jazz and defiant rock pierce everyone's ears. The jarring blend still earns raucous applause at the heart of the dance floor. And yeah, I just want to mention the music, bro. God damn. It fits the atmosphere so much. Really happy, upbeat, really so much a party vibe, man. Beers over in the jar blazes on dance floor. From council seats, the self-righteous elites immerse themselves in this grimy tide of sound, raising their glasses to toast its eerie harmonies. For those conflicted, confined within these walls, there's nothing beyond fleeting pleasure, only the void. Oh shit. When the champagne flows in streams and gold is piled higher than the eye can see, what's the point of locking horns with hardship any longer? She studies her handiwork with cold satisfaction. Yes, poison wine and cheese, my special treat for you all. Go on, indulge yourselves. Oh shit, she poisoned it? Oh shit. The source of this gift remains deliberately hidden after all. Those about to be swept away by their own cravings needn't know who's pulling the strings. Lilith is certain her aunt won't object to this outcome. She needs an environment brimmed with intensity for experiments, and Lilith's approach provides the perfect breeding ground. And these so-called elites, they're no different from those lying in cryosleep, just disposable resources ready to be consumed. So someone calls out to the girl at the foot of the steps. The flushed figure emerges from the haze and dares to ask an impertinent question. Hey, you, who are you? Who am I? Your esteemed arbiter and master mixologist? Mixologist? The heiress who struts about under Madame Mozano's banner? A wave of euphoria sweeps across every inch of synthetic skin, seeps in through the nose, and tinges the very soul with crimson. She remembers the ancient city consumed by the flames from the heavens, and the brazen revelry that once raged within its walls. Damn. The power to judge lies with a net that hasn't even descended yet. She clearly has no authority to summon heavenly fire. But history has already had its share of those who drowned in the whirlpool of intoxication and desire. Lilith, at your service. She carries herself with such dignity and grace that even the faintest misstep in her composure is instantly pardoned. Her heel, steeped in defiled blood, are hidden beneath silver trim. Each step on the marble stair rings with poise and cruel delight. She's the one who bestows its prison with its ultimate rapture by her own hand. In the end, these revelers will topple one after another into the crimson pools born of their own revelry. While the black clock that has no place here will never toll its final note. The opulent lamp perched on its triangular stand never dims, and yet Lilith remains unwavering in her certainty about how this filtering will end. Why is it that you always manage to survive? Because I don't fear the very things that terrify you. It's really that simple. Oh shit, yo, that expression, hey, yo. At last, the world amidst the Red Death is here, but people remain disturbingly numb to their rotting flesh and frantic nerves. In this following garden, the Red Death is ironically called Euphoria. It begins its endless dominion over all. Oh shit. Oh shit. Well, that was a dark ending. God damn. But yeah, great stuff, man, so far. But yeah, I'm definitely curious on how how this chapter will finally end. But yeah, she's definitely very starting to lose it a lot. Definitely starting to go a bit cuckoo crazy, Lilith here. But yeah, definitely a great chapter so far, man. I'm loving it. But yeah, I'm definitely loving it, man. But yeah, I think with that said, the music is great. Lilith is pretty fun, and yeah, definitely it's really cool that we're learning more about Lilith as a boss. That was previously a boss, an antagonist. But yeah, I think with that said, that's all you gotta say. So yeah, it will be streaming again on Wednesday at 3 p.m. EST. We will be playing Wuthering Waves and possibly Genshin Impact. Well, we may be playing Wuthering Waves or Genshin Impact, depending on if Yuno's quest comes out on Wednesday. And if it's released by the time we start streaming. But yeah. But yeah, I think with that said, that's all I really got to say. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please drop a like on the stream. And also, if you want to see more, be sure to drop a subscribe and a follow and a comment to let me know what you thought of the stream. And yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching. Remember to stay humble, be kind to people. And I see you guys later.